Hi guys, it's right at 7 o'clock. For those of you who have joined us before, welcome to the Plant Teaching. I'm Jackie Lynn. For those of you who have just now started with us, this is our 4th week in a row. I'm Jackie Lynn. I'm going to be your instructor, your captain, your know-it-all, going to tell you everything lady. I'm of Cherokee descent. Today we're going to be going over healthy relationships. I have a few things to make for us. So the things you'll need tonight are a little jar, just this little jar. I got this one from Crackle Barrel. I love these little jars; they're so great. Some clove oil, and a little bit of petroleum jelly, Vaseline, any other thing that you can think of. We're going to be talking about corn, okay, and some very beautiful wildflowers. So I actually went out today and picked these. Okay, I don't know what I just finished. Comments will appear here. Okay. I actually went out and picked these today. Ariana would not actually get out of the car with me tonight or this afternoon to get these. So we have everything actually that grows in our neighborhood. So we have some blue cornflower. We have some very beautiful azaleas, okay? And I can teach you how to do an azalea tea with these, especially since they have the buds still on them right now. And then my favorite smell of all time, honeysuckle. A lot of people use honeysuckle for a variety of different things, foliage. I like, like this right here, I could make a very beautiful vase, right, with different flowers in it. But we are going to be making a few things. Cornflower. These just grow wild in fields around here in East Tennessee. I know they're native in Georgia. You guys are going to have to tell me about South Carolina. Who I got with me? Let's see. Okay, so excuse me if I'm your viewers. Okay, I can't see yet, but you'll have to tell me if in South Carolina these grow wild. I know that they do in Georgia and Tennessee. They're the cornflowers. They're also called buttons, bachelor buttons. These are really great for your pores. So, yeah, they call them bachelor buttons everywhere else. They don't really have a smell to them, but they're really cute and they're actually really great for you. They're really good for your pores. We're actually going to be making cornflower water that is very expensive if you go to a retail store and try to buy it. Okay, because it does minimize your pores. And what we're going to make tonight is actually going to last for a month because you're going to keep it in your refrigerator, so it's going to be cool. So you can use this after your shower in the morning when you wash your face, because that's when you want to close those pores before you put your makeup on. You want to get the gunk out when you clean them, right? And then with the cornflower, you're going to close the pores. These look a little pathetic because I picked them earlier today and they're just like, I'm done. These are really great flowers. I love them. I think they're pretty. I don't really know anybody else who thinks they're pretty, but I like them, and we're gonna make some things out of them tonight. So, like I said, we can make azalea flower tea out of these. We're not going to do that tonight. I will tell you how to do it, but I'm not gonna make it. But we do have my beautiful honeysuckle. This is my favorite time of the year because the honeysuckles come out, right? And I just roll my windows down and drive because it's just that unique smell to me that's just always beautiful. And I like to try to keep them as fresh as possible around. And hi, Daryl. And we're talking about different flowers that I picked out throughout the yard today. And I like to keep these as fresh as possible when I'm working with them, the honeysuckles, because I just love the smell of them. They're just unique and beautiful to me. So that is the beautiful thing of a honeysuckle. And if guys are starting to notice, my kid is missing tonight. She had her first live show of her play she's in, and I'll be there tomorrow. I want to watch it tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm a little lost without my little, co-star, I guess, or co-host. My other mini-me was supposed to be filling in for her today. She hasn't made it down yet, but we'll see in a few minutes. She wouldn't get out of the car, by the way, when I was in the field picking these. She actually thought I was crazy, and actually I think she put it on TikTok of me getting the honeysuckles and talking about her crazy native aunt that is stopping on the side of the road and getting flowers. So, but let's go ahead and move on to the corn. Okay, this is just a really simple thing. So tonight we're talking about healthy relationships. This is a very touchy subject sometimes for people because they think their relationships are healthy, or they know their relationships aren't healthy, and they'll defend it to the end of the day that it is healthy. And it's there are warning signs, and corn is actually one of the really good plants that teaches us a little bit about healthy relationships. Okay, so our ancestors thousands of years ago, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the actual first kernel of corn was not edible. And I'm talking thousands of years. I'm talking way past the Mississippian era. The ancestors actually helped cultivate corn the way it is. Now, in a lot of mythology and a lot of creation stories, you're going to hear, ours is Selu, right? It's which actually means corn. Selu came out of cornstalk, out of Connote's chest, right? So corn was the way it was when it developed. But historically speaking and academically speaking, there have been stuff found that corn was inedible when it was first discovered by ancient ancestors, and they actually cultivated it to become edible. Now, what that means is that they took this kernel, and this is just yellow corn too, by the way. So they just took a kernel, right? So if you see it in my little hand, right? They just took a kernel and they took it and spliced it with something else. And so they were being horticulturals, farmers, before we even knew what the word term means. And so that's determination right there, right? So corn to me shows us that to be in a healthy relationship, we have to have certain goals. One of the goals is communication, cooperation, support, and growth, right? This right here symbolizes all that. So our people took an ear of corn and made it edible through communication with the corn, right? They had to communicate on how to make it a different thing. Growth, I'm sure it took years to make something edible. Um, and cooperation. I mean, let's think about that, right? How long did it actually take for someone to think, okay, let's take this unedible thing and make it edible because it looks good. I would like to be there. Like, I really would like to have like a little fly on the wall. So if you notice that what I'm doing now is I'm going to actually tell you about the husk of the corn. So now we talked about the ears of the corn, right? So there's a few things that you can do with these. These make great bandages. Okay. I mean, if you don't have bandages, but these make really good bandages. And a lot of people use them for food. So you're gonna make tamales out of these. You wrap them up in the, tastes so good. And then I want to show you something that someone actually gifted me. I didn't make this one. And it is a little corn husk doll. And if you guys want to learn how to make corn husk dolls, we can put that on the books later. I just didn't have any dried corn husk. And I'm going to bring her a little closer because she's very beautiful. So this one is usually put up in my house because she was gifted to me at the powwow that I was head lady at. She's just beautiful. And so there's many different uses for the corn stalk. All right. So if you guys want to learn how to make those, just comment in the bottom. Let me know. Let Michelle know. Then we'll make that happen. Okay. So one thing I really love about some of the memories I have of growing up on the farm is that the corn husk, right? I always liked to chew on it while we were husking them. I always liked to chew on it. But, you know, here recently I learned that, you know, the original corn stalk hair was a bright purple, a dark brown. And so, you know, we had that flowing, beautiful black brown hair. And so, you know, all the corns that we see now, like Silver Queen, Golden Yellow, it all has blonde. So, I really love the silk. I love playing with it. It's just one of those things, right? It just brings us back to our memories. So, and corn is edible. You can boil it, you can cook it, you can cream it. You can even make cornbread out of it. But corn is one of my favorite things, and it's actually one of my favorite foods too. A lot of people don't know this, but down here in the southeast, a lot of academics want to call us the woodland tribes down here. That's okay. I like to say the southeast because we're a little bit more unique down here than some places up north. So the woodland tribes, actually, the women were, a lot of us down here the women were the farmers. So we actually took care of the corn, and we planted it with the three sisters, which were squash, beans, and corn. And that's a pretty standard thing, I think, in the southeast area is the three sisters. It seems to be standard across the board with that. I mean, I know the Cherokees are kind of like the weirdos of the bunch because we have a totally different language. I know the other 5 civilized tribes down here have like a similar dialect or similar sound to their language, and the Cherokees, we just have totally different sound than the other civilized tribes. I still don't understand how they could call us civilized and do what they did, but it is what it is, right? So if you have any questions about corn, let me know. Corn is great. It mimics how we're going to be a better family. I know, so it's kind of gross, but the story of how Selu actually gave vegetables to us is is that she would shake off part of her body, and she would give us corn and beans and squash and pumpkins, and so I guess women would put in a lot of our bodies in our garden, you know, blood, sweat, and tears, right? So, I mean, I guess a lot of us have a little bit of St. Lou in us every day, huh? So, I'm going to put my corn away because I'm actually going to eat this later. So, I know you guys are probably ready to start doing some activities, because I know a lot of you guys watch me for the things that we make. So, get you just a little jar. You can actually even get a smaller jar than this. I just like this size because, like I said, it's easy for me to grab because you know they're gonna throw them away at Crackle Barrel anyway. So I'm gonna use it, right? And so I just recycled their jar. These are one of my favorite jars. So you're gonna use clove wool, okay? You can get this from Walmart, or Kroger. You can also order it online. You can also make your own clove wool through clove leaves that you get from the grocery store, like the little bay. It looks like bay leaves, but they're called clove leaves. You cook with. They're dried out, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to bring that wool out. But so clove is actually one of my favorite things to use. This is a staple in my bathroom. It's an antiseptic, first and foremost. So if you get a cut, something happens, you can grab on. Hey Jan, you can grab on to some of this, put it on there. It's gonna burn. I mean, like really burn, but it works. It'll help. Okay. It's going to burn, but it's going to be an antiseptic, so it's going to take out any of the bacteria that might be in there. It also was used for a long time in China for teeth. They used it for what are they called? Cavities. And they would sew a piece of cotton and put it on the tooth until it numbed it and the cavity actually started healing back. Never actually recommended doing that because if you swallow too much of this, you can actually numb your throat and kind of choke. So I recommend a little bit will do ya. Okay. I do tell people that if their teeth hurt to use some of this. It will kind of take the pain away, because Orajel, your toothpaste, look at the ingredients, this is going to be listed. Probably its technical name. But it is going to be in your toothpaste and your Orajel. But anyways, you're going to need this, okay? And you're going to need some Vaseline petroleum jelly, whatever you call it. I know. And you're just going to take as much as you need. So usually just a spoonful. So for every spoon, you're going to put 1 to 2 drops. And remember, we don't measure anything in this group. We just keep adding until our ancestors tell us we're good, right? That's how I cook. So, no, sometimes I use measurements. It's funny because my Granny Blanche, she made the best cocoa pie, and it's chocolate pie, right? And anytime that she asked me what I wanted for my birthday, for Christmas, any major holidays, what do you want, Coco? What can I get for you, honey? I always tell her I want chocolate pie. Or make me a chocolate pie, and she'd make me chocolate pie. My granny passed away in 2008, right? And that's the one thing I didn't really learn to make from her was chocolate pie. Now we're going to add the, I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm sorry. So we're going to add it into the jar. I didn't watch. I know how to make her gravy and biscuits. I know how to make everything else. I just didn't. I don't know. I guess I didn't ever realize that it was, you know, time was going too fast, and I would never have a granny chocolate pie. And so we're going to just add the cloval. And so, you know, everybody knows I love to cook when I'm angry or upset. And I'm not to toot my own horn, but I make some pretty good things. I have a cheesecake that we'll make, New York style cheesecake. The Cheesecake Factory, I guess, would be a best. And we're just mixing it up. You just want to make sure you get it all mixed up, because you don't want too much of the cloval in one spot. So you want to really mix that in. But anyways, back to the chocolate. So I never really watched her to make it right. And so my granny passed away in 2008. It has been since 2008 since I've had a chocolate pie, because every time that I have tried to make this pie, it burns. Something happens. It just never turns out right. Okay. And I think that's Granny's way of telling me, you know, maybe you should have listened, or I'm doing something wrong and I'm not listening to her. So eventually one day I said, well, one day I'll get this right. And when I do, I'm not going to stop trying to make it right. I'm not going to stop trying to make the chocolate pie. But one day I'll get it right. But until then, I guess I'm just going to continue to burn chocolate. And that is the most horrible smell if you've ever, you know, and it looks horrible too. Tastes horrible. So, and if you notice at the bottom of your jar that it's kind of looking a little liquefied, that is okay. That is the cloval breaking down some of the Vaseline, okay? And that's normal. That's why we're using a glass jar with cloval, because cloval will eat through plastic. So always use a glass jar. You can also recommend that if you're going to put anything else in this, to do a darker jar too. Usually I keep these in bags so they're kept away from the sunlight anyways. But so you just keep mixing it. So what we're making here is, maybe I should tell you what we're making, is just a little bit of a lip balm, because during this time of the year, I know I get chapped lips from being out in the sun, talking. Ooh, that is a lot of cloval. But it works, and it's really good. You can use it on your hands too. Use it on scratches. It's going to burn like a Dickens, but it works. What's going on? You got to let her out? You got a pig throwing a fit. So, questions about that? That is really good. That's good stuff. And it's going to burn a little bit. You can also put different things in it, like rosemary. Rosemary is really good for the healing. I like to use clove and lavender, clove and anything like that. Calomel, that'll work. Also, you make sure that you do label so that no one thinks that that is honey or jelly and tries to eat it, okay? Because that's the last thing you want, is someone to get a big spoonful of that in their mouth without them expecting it. A lot of people ask me all the time, do you recommend cloval for teething babies? The answer to that is, talk to your doctor. Not only that, but also I don't recommend it because it is it can paralyze the throat for a little bit. It can numb it, and they have a hard time swallowing. And if they're teething, they really don't have a lot of ways to tell you, hey, I can't swallow. So I don't really recommend that for children that are teething. There are plenty of other ways to do that. So it just remember that everything has a purpose, everything has a spirit to it, and will it will help if you use it correctly. So, oh yes, I promised you guys cornflower water. So what you're going to do, all right, is you're going to take little cornflowers, right? You're going to put these in distilled water. You need distilled water. You don't need tap water. You're going to put distilled water in there, not tap water, not sparkling water. You're going to use distilled water, okay? Because you are putting this on your face, and you're going to boil it for about 5 minutes. After you take it off the stove, you're going to let it cool. And you're going to put it in a jar, okay? Plastic container, whatever you want to put it in. Put it in the refrigerator. It'll last up to 30 days. And it's the cornflower. A lot of places think that this is an invasive species. To me, I think it's just a thriver, right? Because, I mean, think about it. This stuff is actually helping you with your face. It's beautiful to look at. It makes and you can dry this stuff out really easily and make different decorations with it. So it does what you need it to do. That's what I love about the cornflower, and I actually think it's so beautiful. It's one of my favorite flowers. So don't forget to try that. That is really good for your pores. I know a lot of you look at my skin and think, oh wow, what does she use? Stuff I make. And my sister brought this up today. She was like, you got a really deep wrinkle right here. And I was like, Cindy, that's not a wrinkle. That's a scar where I split my head open. And we're picking on each other because we're pushing 40 here. So, and I mean, I think we both look like we're still in our 20s, but I think we're just a little bit picking on each other because of our face. And so that could be a little bit of a healthy family. It could also be a not so healthy part of the family, right? Having healthy relationships. So when do we know when it's healthy and when it's not? I guess the question would be, is it constant? Is it always, every time you see each other, you pick on each other, right? Do you tell each other you love each other? Do you hug? Would you throw each other under the bus if something happened? Those are the things that I would ask. I mean, a little bit of picking on each other isn't going to hurt the world. Bullying there's two different things. That's totally different. But, yeah, think about it. Would you, throw each other under the bus? That is the number one question I ask people. Is it a healthy relationship? Would your partner or your family, would they be there for you if you got arrested? If you called them, would they bail you out? Is it healthy? Hi, Debbie. That's how I kind of know where we are. But then again, I work in recovery, so it could also be an enabling situation, right? So would you bail them out, but would they bail you out is the next question. So, I mean, that's where we put up boundaries, and that's how we have healthy relationships, is how to put up healthy boundaries. But here's the thing, is that a lot of people will take like the word boundaries and mislabel it or misuse it, and it gets really messed up. So here's a simple way to do boundaries, okay? Communicate what you need, right? Okay, I need 10 minutes alone when I get home. Don't talk to me. I'm tired. I talk to people all day long. I need 10 minutes by myself. Okay, I can understand that. Now, when you communicate that to the person and they continue to break that boundary, as in every time you get home and they come out and talk to you while you're trying to decompress, they're breaking that boundary. So that's when you need to decide on how to put up another boundary, or is it worth putting up another boundary, or if they're not going to respect that boundary, what other boundaries are not respecting in your life? And that's like an aha moment for a lot of people. And the same question is are you respecting boundaries of other people? And that's a hard one for all of us to swallow. I think that's the best thing for people to actually understand, is that they need to take a step back and look at themselves. And any of these plants that we talk about or walk through here on this will teach you that the first thing you really need to do is step back and take a look at yourself, and what are you doing for you, right? Are you healthy for other plants? So people with the cornflower, right? So I told you that some people would see this as an invasive species. So I'd say out west, Nebraska area, they don't like these because they get in their fields and they take all the nutrients from their other plants, or they become resistant to the poisons. You know, they just try to get rid of these. And to me, that's resilience. But so if you're a cornflower, right, are you in your right environment? Are you being considered a invasive species, a weed, or are you considered beautiful and helpful and can help, like useful? That's kind of a big deal, right? Where are we coming from? Are we a weed, or are we useful and beautiful? So, and I think that's actually in the eye of everybody here. So, in a healthy relationship, you want to both be cornflowers, right? You want to be the beautiful thing that gives back, instead of taking the nutrients from your partner, because you both have to share. I heard once that partnership is not equal, because it's always give and take. It's give and give and give, and take and take and take. So it's always a teeter-totter. One partner might need something one day, and the other partner needs another. I mean, eventually it equals out, right? But it's about balance, and not being equal, but balance, right? I think that is a good way to look at any relationship, is, are you balancing each other? Are you helping each other with nutrients in the ground? I know a lot of flowers that are growing right now are actually setting the way for the plants that come out during the summer. And those plants in the summer, they're going to be taking a lot of heat, right? It's going to be really dry. And so the plants that are coming out now in the wet, rain, well, I don't want to say rainy because it's not that rainy, but coming out in the spring are setting in the nutrients together for the flowers that are coming in the summer, right? To keep that grass alive, keep those beautiful, like the Cherokee roses grow all year round here. Well, not year, but all summer long. So that's one of those that the honeysuckles are preparing the ground for. Any of the things that most people would consider weeds, you need to think and look at as they're actually preparing the ground for what's coming, because they're balancing they're nurturing other things to balance it for their ecosystem. So how can we be more like that in our relationships? And that's simple. Take a step back and look. Are you helping your partner? Are you nurturing that soil? Are you setting up boundaries for them to fail? Or are you setting up boundaries to make it easier to connect with when you're ready. And that's the simple, easy truth of that is with the boundaries. A lot of people like to put up boundaries and say, okay, these are my boundaries and you can't cross them. And if you cross them, you're done, right? Or other people will like to put up boundaries and then somebody crosses them and they're like, okay, well, I'll put up this boundary, and then they cross them and they put up the next boundary, and they keep crossing them, but they don't do anything about it. So, it's a balancing act, right? When do we say enough and enough is when you're crossing our boundaries? And when do we say we're actually not putting up boundaries, but putting up roadblocks? And that's simple. Step back and look. That's that simple. A lot of people ask me for that advice, and I tell them it's that simple. You just look at it. What are you doing? What are you doing? How are you doing? When was the last time somebody asked you that question and actually meant for you to answer it? Linda, how are you doing? Debbie, how you doing? Jane, what's going on with you? It's that simple, and I do want you guys to answer that because, I don't ask just to be asking. Territory of the jobs, I guess. So that's how to be a beautiful flower in a world of weeds, I guess, is be able to nurture that ground for what's coming next. And I think that's the gift of a truly gifted person and wonderful person. I heard this too, is that a truly loving person will plant trees for the shade of someone else that they will never see grow. And that's powerful. Like, why would I plant something that I'll never see grow? Well, the simple fact is it's not for you. It's for somebody else. So that's pretty much what boundaries are. They're not roadblocks. They're put up to help love someone. So it is our 4th week. It is the 4th week. So I haven't decided yet if we're going to add one more week because of one of our weeks landed on Good Friday, and I know a lot of people couldn't attend because of church and other things going on during that weekend. So I haven't decided if we're going to add one more weekend. I kind of wanted you guys to tell me what you guys wanted to do. Also, I wanted to, I know that last week, if you were here last week, we talked about poke salad. I have some good news for you. Nanny O did make us some poke salad, and I will be putting the video up tomorrow of her explaining the poke salad, how to make it. Brenda, if you're watching, really good news is that you can actually freeze poke salad. I have the recipe. Let me grab it. I know you guys are really enjoying looking at my big old worm. So, I've been doing group all day too, by the way, guys. So, my voice is getting a little thing. So poke salad, right? So, and then I wrote down exactly what Nanny said. Poke salad. And I don't know if I can get country. I know I have a country accent and I can get country, but there's a difference between Tennessee country and Kentucky country. I don't know. Anyways, so poke salad. You're going to put it in a kettle. Okay? And you're going to cook it until it's tender. Okay? And after it's tender, you're going to put it in some grease. And she likes the hog lard. But you can use vegetable oil. And then you're going to fry it. But you're not going to get it brown because then that means it's burnt. But then you're going to put in a scrambled egg. You're going to put in some egg and you're going to scramble it with the poke salad. Okay. And if you don't want to cook it into the scrambled egg, you can, after you get it, after you get it out of the kettle, you can cool it down, put it in a bag, and put it in the freezer. Okay, so that's how you freeze that. And I asked her about the tallness of the Pope salad, and she said, and I wrote it down and I quote, she said 10, 11, 12 inches. If it's real tall, it's real rough. And I was like, Nanny, can it poison you if it gets to a certain size? And she's like, I don't know. I've been eating all of my life. I've never been I was like, oh, Lord. So what she's saying is the taller it gets, the tougher it gets. So don't eat it. And that's what she said. But well, like I said, I'm going to put that up tomorrow with her doing the poke salad. And I'm hoping that I can get her also to give us the recipe for, I call it Nanny O's tomato soup. Because it's like one of those things that you just have to have when you're sick. And, you know, here's the thing is, like I told you about the chocolate pie earlier from my Granny Blanche, who passed away in 2008. Nanny O is still with me, right? So everything that I love that Granny Blanche or Nanny O fixes, I'm trying to get on either on record, like recording it, or writing down the recipes and sticking them somewhere. But that's becoming difficult to actually remember where I put those recipes, or continually make them so much that I know exactly what I'm doing. And that's what it like gravy and biscuits. I got that down like to a science, right? But the chocolate pie still can't make, and so my Nanny-O soup. It comes out two ways. It comes out really good and tastes like it. I mean, pretty good, right? And then, or it comes out just like you dumped a can of vegetables in a jar of tomato juice. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm trying to get all that on record while Nanny's still with me. So I'm going to bring Michelle on because, like I said, I am solo tonight. So I did want to ask her a few questions about this. But we are excited about this series. I love doing this series, so I wouldn't really mind doing an extra week to do a few other things. I know a lot of you guys wanted to do a little bit of sassafras, but I couldn't get a hold of any sassafras this turn around, so we will be doing that as soon as I can get my hands on some sassafras. And if there's any other things that you guys think of that you want to learn how to do, email me, put it in the caption here, make a note, send it to Michelle, let me know what you want to do, because, you know, I love teaching this class, I love doing lectures, but I also like having an interaction with other people, so let me know what you want to learn, or if there's something that you know that, well, she didn't answer me. So if there's something you know and you want to share, reach out and tell me about it. Because I know that this is an all-inclusive Indigenous platform. And when I say inclusive, I mean it's intertribal. And I want everyone to be able to share their stories of their heritage with us. So I'm open to learning some more about. If you're from a different nation, let me know. Tell me, hey, you know, we have a similar creation story about corn, but it's different. Let me know, okay? Because I'm looking forward to learning those things. If you have any questions about flowers that grow in your yard and you want to send me a picture of it, do that. I can do that. I can tell you a little bit more about it if I know what it is. There are a few apps that you can download on your phone that will help you identify plants. I saw one advertised on on TikTok the other day, and I don't know what happened to the video, but I'd love to see us talk about sassafras root tea. Okay, it's a heal everything tea, LO. Yeah, it is. It really is. We really need to do sassafras, but I want to try again to bring you on. Send request. Sassafras. So you gotta kind of need to know where to get sassafras. One and two, you really need to know what you're doing when you make sassafras tea, because it can also be a little bit dangerous, but it's fine. We'll make sure I outweigh the dangers, and me and Michelle will, since I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll figure that out later. We will talk about sassafras tea. Maybe that's what we need to do next week. If you want to add another one, Michelle, let me know if you want to do that. We can add another week if you want to, and we'll just do sassafras. Did you get to see the cornflower? Did you? I'm not seeing any more comments, so I'm going to assume she did see the beautiful cornflower. So I think we might need to do one more about things coming up and sprouting. And while I've got a few minutes, I guess I could look and see when, because I don't have an extra phone next to me. I miss Cheyenne when she was here. I would just call Nanny and be like, Nanny, can we go get some sassafras yet? So, and you can actually buy sassafras plant. I did not know that. I just thought it grew wild. Nobody else. I always thought that it grew wild. Oh, you can make root beer with it too. Okay, yeah. Michelle, let's get together. Let's plan this. We'll do homemade root beer syrup, homemade sassafras root beer. Yeah, let's do one just on sassafras, because it is, it is a cure-all. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, so summer. So let's do that during the summer. We're getting close. It's almost May. So if you have been watching, I don't know if you guys made it with me, but if you've been watching your new lip balm, and this can actually be put on sores or salves, like, right? It should be solidifying again. So just to let you know, it should be solidifying. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just have one about sassafras. And you can actually do the root, the leaves, root. Ooh, that's more, the root is actually in the winter. But we can still harvest it. It just wouldn't be, you just need more root, which is, that's not good. You don't want to take more than you need, right? So let's do that. Let's do one, just a group on. Yeah, we will talk about that on just a general thing. So apparently, the FDA banned sassafras use in 1979 following research that showed it could cause cancer in rats. I hope y'all are thinking what I'm thinking, but I'm not going to say it out loud. So, um, thoughts, comments, let me know. Um, and don't forget that if you're going to do your corn, flour, water, 5 minutes boil. That's it. And make sure it's distilled water. Then let it cool down, put it in the refrigerator. You don't want to use tap water. You don't want to use sparkling water. You don't want to use spring water. It has to be distilled water for it to really do well on your face and not break it out. So the good thing about corn flour water for face is that it is hypoallergenic, so it is helpful for people who have sensitive skin. But as always, make sure you test it out on a little bit of your arm to make sure that it is not too sensitive. So that is all the time I really have for you guys tonight. I have to go get Cheyenne from her first play, and I will let you know, guys, how she did. All right, until I see you again, have a good weekend.